Here in this video, I'm just going to demonstrate just how hot really things are. So I didn't take a video driving into town, but this is actually heading back down from Sedona. It's about a 1,500 foot elevation change. And at this point, it's actually level ground, and I'm about to start going downhill. Now it's 104 degrees out. My intake temp is 105, so it's cool how effective the snorkel is when it comes to controlling external temps or intake temps from how hot it is externally, but you got to be moving down the highway. But that said, coolant temp is settled at 202, and now I'm on nearly flat ground, and I'm going 65, and I'm not boosting, and it's just a hot day. But this is before the fan clutch replacement. Now, and with the fan clutch being changed, things have dramatically changed overall, but this is like the before video. It's very, very hot. Between intake temp, ambient temp, and coolant temp just cannot calm down or cool down at all in this weather. For tonight, I am installing my new fan clutch from Redline Land Cruisers. It's a modified ASIN fan clutch here, which the original one started to give out on me about a year ago, and since then I've been through two different O'Reilly fan clutches. I mean, it still looks shiny. It's been there for like a year now. They suck. They only kick in, the clutch only engages when I'm moving less than 20 miles an hour. I'll be on the highway, it's 110 out, and the fan's just not working, and the car's overheating. I have to pull over or drive slow. This is supposed to be running almost all the time, and it has a 90-degree thermostat, so it's always 90 plus here, so it'll always be running now. So with the 4Runner running more efficiently, it doesn't have to downshift all the time, so I'm just cruising in top gear, and there's probably a little bit more load going on with the engine, and it is overheating a little bit. Not overheating, but just running a little hotter, so comparatively to like pulling a trailer. So now that I install this here, I shouldn't have any more fan cooling problems. Look how much physically larger this newer fan clutch is here. It's a little wider in diameter and significantly thicker. I've been driving with my Redline Land Cruisers fan clutch for the last week now, and essentially the same view in the same other video had like a wildfire in the distance, or some of my other videos, I should say. And so the fire's out, and also our extreme temperatures are down, so air quality's better and temperature's better today. It's like 75 degrees versus 95 to 105 degrees. And that said, I'm looking at temperatures here, and it's just right at 93, where it used to be when I had 33s and no weight, and then I kept adding weight and added bigger tires, and I went from averaging 195 to 198, then on hot days in traffic around 200 at the stoplight, and then the fan clutch just kind of gave up. Went through my O'Reilly fan clutches, and it just was never really happy. I mean, sometimes get up to 210, even moving slow where the fan clutch was actually engaged. So this Redline Land Cruisers fan clutch is awesome. That said, continuous climbs, as long as it's below 80 degrees, it does not budge at all. I'm sure towing it would budge a little bit. And then when it's 105 degrees out, this same grade that I'm on, where it's like a 2% grade for like 3 miles, I would be at like anywhere from 205 to 215, and I'd have to pull over to the side of the road doing like the smaller, or I should say the blips of the climb. It's like a 2% grade, and then it goes up to like a 3 or 4% for like a quarter mile. So anyways, this here has been pretty awesome when it comes to the Redline Land Cruisers fan clutch here. It's obviously running more often, so it's taking a little bit more power away kind of at all times. Like right now I may not need the fan clutch since it's so cool out and no major power requirements, and I'm moving fast, going like 70. But anyways, it's dropping again. Yeah, since I'm just cruising here and no longer climbing, it's able to drop a little bit. No change in my coolant, no change in, so I'm going back uphill even a little bit, and it's still dropping. So no change in coolant, no change in my radiator, just the fan clutch. I thought I needed like the high performance radiator, but that just kind of clicked with me that, when airflow's just right, it seems to work in terms of temperatures being controlled. But to recap, overall, this has been a decrease of about 10 to 15 degrees in the overall engine temperature when it's over 100 degrees outside. the fan clutch just isn't doing much. For whatever reason, it was overheating. And so now I was able to keep my temps in check on this 6% grade here, climbing for a few miles. Now, it's super cool today, but when it was 105 degrees out, I maxed out at 205. And as soon as I stopped climbing and was able to just regulate for a moment on flat-ish ground, it was able to catch up and climb back down to 200 to 198. And that was with the AC on. That's with me supercharged. That's with me like foot on the floor, high load, not downshifting, basically trying to make this thing overheat. So that's actually been it's been a pretty amazing modification because it was so easy and way more affordable than a radiator itself, a high performance radiator. I'm still going to do a high performance radiator because I don't like 205. Now in this clip here, conditions are the same where it's about 100 degrees out. I'm actually in the same part of the highway here, just going the opposite direction as the first clip here, now going uphill. So originally I was on flat ground or on a 4% downhill grade, and now I'm on a 4% uphill grade that lasts for several miles. So we start at 198 and we're climbing in temps here, and essentially we're just going to go and see how long the car can actually release heat with this new fan here, because previously it was running at 202, essentially going down a hill in the same conditions. Long climb does it. Before I wasn't trying to go this fast, before it was 65, so we're going to do 72, boost in the whole time. We're going to see how far up we can go without overheating here. Nothing, just but a fan clutch mod. So 206, that's pushing it, but we're almost to the top of the hill here and still hauling ass. Alrighty, I would have been at 215 to 220 previous to the fan clutch modification here. 207, but I'm still on it. I'm going to let off now. And you can hear the torque converter stop slipping, and we'll see how it recovers here. So that was the worst part of the climb. And there's another part where technically the grade is steeper, but it's a lot shorter of a distance that you're climbing. And that's with the vehicle in fourth gear in overdrive. So if I was in overdrive off, I do not think it would have gotten that hot. We can test that on the next climb here. And it's dropping down, so now we're back at 202. And that's just kind of when it's 100 plus out and I'm pushing it this fast, with how unaerodynamic I am on 35s, wide body too, I don't think it's really going to settle below 200. So that's where, you know, I can just not go 75 miles an hour, do 60 to 65, and the temps calm. This shallow climb that I'm about to do also has a curve in it, and this area I would always have to pull over and allow the truck to just run at high RPM, pulled over to allow the engine fan to finally engage, because I would always get to 215. So honestly, this is probably the most impressive part of the climb, because essentially at the other part of this climb here later in the video, I'm essentially going to be going downhill when it peaks out with max temp, but in this case I just have a subtle 2 to 3% grade after this climb with the curve, so it just never has a chance to cool down. And honestly, this is where the engine temp would already be at 210 at this point. And right around 215 is when things start to boil and get dangerous. So just keeping it down below 210 is really kind of like the main target, pushing the limit here. But overall, I don't even want to be close to that. That's why I'm making my commentary. Around the same speed, and temps are reasonable. Transmission temp especially, it's so nice having that extra power, so I don't have to just burn out my transmission fluid just slipping all the time. 204, alright. Kind of right around that, you know, I bumped up 207 for a second. It was mostly 206, but overall, with these temperatures, it basically dropped about 10 degrees overall in this extreme scenario here. So this is where we got another like 1% grade for like 2 miles. So we'll see if temp settles and changes from 204 here. Just kind of matches temp here. I decided to pick up the speed a little bit. So it seems if I keep it at 65 at these grades, at this elevation, this temp, I'm able to keep it moderated about 206 to 205. Just kind of coast. Whenever I coast here, the temps drop really fast. Kind of like a little cheat code. I just get on the throttle and let an engine brake, and it drops right on down. Climb. Alrighty, the speed limit is dropped down to 55 at this point, so I might as well just follow the speed limit to a degree. This is why they have the speed limit set the way they do. So let me just go ahead and change lanes here, and went from 198 to 200 for a moment here. Climbing up again. This corner here takes a lot of momentum away. So we're doing 60. Doing around the speed limit. 204, sticking at 204. Alright. When the AC's not running, and it's not, I should say when it's below 80 degrees and the AC is not running, you do not have to go into overdrive here. It's able to hold fourth gear up the hill, but either way I'm still doing good speed. Before it was foot to the floor in third gear without a supercharger at these temps, and I'd barely do 50 miles an hour down to second gear, usually screaming at 40 miles an hour. It's so nice maintaining highway speed. And we did come up in 206 there at the end of the climb, and peaked at 207, but we're at the top here. So now that we're slowing down, let me just get a little more RPM, a little more fan speed. Alright, took about 30 seconds and temps are starting to drop back down into the reasonable range again. And now that I'm just cruising, I'm sure temps will just relax around 202 to 200, just chilling in traffic. Monsoon time. Hopefully it actually rains. One of the other things as well is when it's this hot out, indirect sunlight, the coolant temp would also get up. I've seen it get up to like 220 just sitting still. I'm surprised I haven't blown a head gasket, honestly. Engine's still running great though, not burning coolant or anything. Just trying to figure out the airflow here. Back down to 193, which never got that low before, by the way. It was like only at 198, you know, coasting. But that said, this is a pretty fun mod here. And when you're parked, you know, because it's actually locking up a little bit more, it gets like a 1-to-1 rotation. It's actually able to get some airflow going too while you're parked. So instead of hitting 215, 220, it's like 205 at the most still while you're parked. And actually, I haven't even seen it get that high yet. I'm just kind of guessing. It's just been at 198 while I've been parked. Back down to 191. So it's just those long climbs. I am on big tires. If I turned off the AC, it would not overheat at all. I've already tested that. It wouldn't really get above 205 at all. It's just pushing the limits with the AC on. So we're gonna go ahead and get to work here. Have some fun in Sedona. Full runner, over and out. I've been ripping around town. It's still hot and I'm going slow, and it's only at 198, and it's even sat idle for like 5-10 minutes in the driveway earlier. Pretty sweet.